The high-pitched scream of the buzzsaw filled the operating room. I was lying there, helpless on the operating table, staring in horror at the razor-sharp blade, with my stiff, swollen purple penis pointed straight up at the ceiling. I furiously tried to break free, but the wrist restraints had me pinned down. "It's too late. We have no choice," the doctor shouted. "We have to amputate." He lowered the buzzsaw toward my crotch, and as the blade sliced into my manhood, I let out a blood-curdling scream and woke up from my nightmare. I was drenched in ice-cold sweat. My heart was pounding like a jackhammer. I frantically jammed my hand down my underpants, groping for it, making sure it was still there, and thank God it was. But little did I know, my real nightmare had only just begun. My name's Jim, and let me ask you, does it feel like your manhood just isn't what it used to be? No more morning wood, you can't get it up, or you can get semi-hard, but not hard enough to have really good sex. Maybe you're having problems keeping it up. And what about your sex drive? Is it low these days? Do you ever feel like you're letting your woman down because you aren't satisfying her as much, or as often as you know you should? She might tell you it's fine, but you know she's just saying that. And maybe you worry, like I used to, that sooner or later she's going to meet some other man who can give her what she needs. I want you to know I understand what you're going through. My ED nearly cost me my 20-year marriage, my family and my kids, even my life. And I'll tell you my shocking story in a minute. But first, if you're suffering from ED, trust me, you're not alone, and I totally know how you feel. The good news is, in the next few minutes, I'm going to share with you an unusual secret method that not only reversed my ED, but now gives me throbbing, rock-hard, super erections that make my wife the most satisfied woman on earth. It doesn't matter how old or young you are, this will work for you if you're between the ages of 21 and 79. And it doesn't matter whether you've suffered from ED for years or whether you've recently begun to go soft or can't get it up at all. It also doesn't matter if you've tried pills, pumps, or other ED treatments, because this isn't about that. You see, what I'm about to give you is not a treatment. It's not a temporary fix that helps ease the symptoms. I'm talking about a one-of-a-kind solution that attacks your ED at its core, wipes it out, and rewinds your manhood back to your prime, giving you the hardness and sex drive of a man half your age. This is exactly what's already happened for 67,483 men across the world. Men like Tony C. from Sarasota, Florida. "Hi, Jim. I wish I'd known your natural ED solution years ago. Now I can get erections anytime I want, and best of all, I'm doing it all naturally. This sure beats spending over $30 for a single Viagra pill and risking heart attacks, strokes, and other horrible side effects. Within 48 hours of learning your natural method, my sex life was back from the dead. I got hard as a rock and stayed hard for as long as I wanted. I can't thank you enough, and neither can my very happy wife." Or Richard S. from Philadelphia. "I've always lacked confidence with women because of the way I struggled in the bedroom. Either I'd have trouble getting an erection or I'd get hard but finish way too quickly. Now, thanks to you, I feel totally in control as a man. I can get hard again and again, and control my ejaculations like never before. Last night, my new girlfriend told me I'm the most amazing lover she's ever had. Man, that made me feel great." Imagine the confidence surging through your veins as you instantly achieve thick, hard, throbbing erections that your lover will gaze upon with amazement, and maintaining your erection for as long as you want and as long as she needs. Best of all, you'll be able to achieve this on command, because now this unusual, all-natural method is available to regular guys like you and me. But not to every man, only men who truly desire for their ED to be erased for the long term. So, in order to continue, you must agree to a couple of rules in order to join this private online test group. I'll tell you the rules in just a moment, and as long as you qualify and apply the natural method you're about to discover, you can say goodbye to your ED and get harder than steel in the next 24 hours. Imagine the sexual freedom you'll have when you can instantly command a rock-hard, vein-bulging erection to appear. And not just any erection, one that is even more potent than the boners you popped as a teenager. But Unlike in your younger years, you will now be in complete command of your manhood. You won't pitch a tent at the wrong times, but the moment you want to summon an erection, it'll be ready to make your wife explode with pleasure and scream your name to the heavens because you, and you alone, satisfy her unlike any other man possibly could. And you'll do this without pills, without pumps, and without painful injections or risky surgery. In this short presentation, you'll also discover the truth about the root cause of your ED. You might think it's your diet, or your weight, your testosterone levels, your diabetes, or some other health situation. Or maybe you think it's all in your head, and it's because of anxiety or some mental block. But in a moment, I'm going to share with you the truth and give you an all-natural method to fix it fast and gain complete control over your erections. All I ask is that you agree to 2 ground rules before I spill this breakthrough secret, which one of the world's most powerful industries doesn't want you to know. Rule number 1, you must give me your complete attention. Turn off your phone, close your door, and focus on this presentation until the very end. This is the only way that you will reverse your ED quickly, naturally, and for the long term. Rule number 2, you must agree to use this information responsibly. My mission is to save the marriages of men like me who suffered from ED, not to break up marriages. So once your mojo is back and you've got the sex drive of a tiger, please do not go sticking your tool where it doesn't belong. Fair enough? As long as you agree to follow those simple ground rules, we can continue. Now, the first thing you need to know is that when it comes to ED, drugs like Viagra and Cialis are not the answer. Not only are these drugs expensive, they come with a list of side effects as long as your arm, including dizziness, headaches, fainting, nausea, blurred vision, heart palpitations, even heart attacks and strokes. And on top of all the nasty side effects, it really does feel like cheating when you have to take some drug just to perform your most basic duty as a man. So what if I told you there's another method that works even better than any medication and reverses your ED 100% naturally for the long term? This method has been used for thousands of years by ancient civilizations, and to this day it's used by legendary adult film stars who have to get it up and keep it up 4, 5, even 6 times a day. You'll meet one of these legends in a moment. So if you want to reverse your ED and have the sexual power of a stallion, you need to watch this to the very end. This really is that important, because I know from personal experience how devastating ED can be, not just for you, but for your wife, your relationship, your marriage, your confidence as a man. To be honest, it was my own painful and humiliating history with ED that led me on a personal quest to find a solution and take back my manhood, no matter what the cost. What's funny is back when I was a kid, getting too many erections was the problem. I remember waking up every morning of high school with a stiffy you could pound nails with. I'd have to rub one out in the shower before I got dressed and caught the bus to school. Then, throughout the day, my penis would seem to have a life of its own and just stand up at the most inconvenient times. Back then, it was the most embarrassing thing ever, and I wished it had stopped, but then fast forward to me in my 40s, and I was desperate to have an erection like that again. I was married to the love of my life, Vanessa. We'd always enjoyed the kind of sex that made other couples jealous. But then, over time, it started becoming more difficult for me to get an erection. And when I was able to get it hard, it just wasn't as firm as it used to be. I thought it was due to the stress at my job, or maybe my diet. But then, one night, on my 45th birthday, I realized my ED was becoming a serious problem. That night, Vanessa wanted to give me a birthday to remember. There she was on the bed in front of me with her legs spread, begging me to climb on top of her and ravage her. And there I was, frantically tugging on my shriveled up manhood, hoping and praying it would show some sign of life. But it was as limp as a wet noodle. Trying to have sex in my condition would have been like shooting pool with a piece of rope. We tried everything to get my little soldier to stand up and salute, but for some reason, the more she tried, the limper it got, until finally, after 45 humiliating minutes, she sighed and rolled over. As my wife walked to the bathroom, she glanced back over her shoulder and gave me a look I'll never forget, a look of pity and disgust. But as repulsed as she was with me, her husband of 20 years, who couldn't even get it up for her anymore, I was 1,000 times more ashamed of myself. This didn't happen every time we tried to do it, but it was happening enough to make me start avoiding sex. Vanessa and I would be lying in bed together, and I could tell she was in the mood to fool around. So I'd pretend to yawn and say something about how tired I was from work, any excuse I could think of to avoid giving another pathetic performance. One time I actually told my wife I couldn't do it because I had a headache. That's the classic excuse women are supposed to give their husbands, right? And here I was telling it to Vanessa. How much lower can a guy get? While my wife slept, I would go on Google and research my problem. I wasn't really familiar with the term ED until I started learning about it. Did you know 89% of men over the age of 40 suffer from at least one form of ED? If you can't get or maintain a firm erection, you've got ED. If you ever ejaculate prematurely, that's another form of ED. If you have to watch pornography in order to get aroused, that's a very common type of ED. And if you used to be able to go for 2 or 3 rounds a night, but now you're done after one, that's ED too. Contrary to popular belief, this embarrassing problem affects men of all ages. Without going into complicated medical language, a normal erection develops when the blood vessels in your penis become flooded with blood from other parts of your body. When you have ED, it basically means that you can't get enough blood down to your penis to make it expand for an erection. Now, this doesn't sound that hard to fix, but there's so much money being made by the pharmaceutical companies with their pills and pumps and other so-called treatments that they don't want to provide a natural long-term fix. Why would they want to kill the goose that lays the golden eggs, right? So I knew I had to figure this out on my own. First, I visited a doctor to see about getting on testosterone shots. But when he checked my T levels, they were normal for a guy my age. And even if my levels had been low, I couldn't afford the $2,500 it would cost for one course of injections. So I switched up my diet, eliminating all unhealthy foods and eating cinnamon, ginger, cloves, ginseng and other roots, fruits, and weird herbs that were supposed to treat ED. And since alcohol and cigarettes are said to be erection killers, I swore off drinking. I never was a smoker. When none of these things helped, I booked an appointment with a urologist. He stared down at his clipboard, listened to me for all of 10 seconds, and sent me off with a prescription for Viagra. $35 a pill it cost me. What's worse, I hated the idea of having to take a drug behind my wife's back just to perform my duties as a husband. But I tried it anyway without telling Vanessa because I was desperate to save my marriage. And although it sort of worked, the sex, it just didn't feel right. A few minutes into it, I could feel my blood pressure soaring and a pounding in my ears. I was stiff as a board, but I couldn't climax no matter how long we went for, and afterwards I was up all night with a headache. After a few more awkward and uncomfortable Viagra-fueled sessions, my wife wanted to know what was up. So I reached into the nightstand, my face bright red from a combination of the Viagra and the burning shame and guilt I was feeling, and I showed her the pill bottle. I'd never cheated on my wife, but that's how I felt at that moment, like a cheater, taking pills behind her back, relying on a drug just to try to fake my way through sex with her. I went straight to the bathroom, and after promising myself I'd never take pills anymore, I flushed the rest of them down the toilet. What the heck am I doing? I said to myself in the mirror. I need to take drugs just to make love to my wife? The whole idea of it was humiliating for me and downright insulting for her. But that wasn't the worst of it. Oh no, my ED nightmare was about to get 1,000,000 times worse. You should know my wife isn't the jealous type, and I'd certainly never been unfaithful to her. But after almost 2 months of me avoiding sex with her, I came home from work one day and found her in our bedroom packing up a suitcase. "What are you doing?" I asked her. "Where are you going?" "I'm going to stay with my sister for a while," she said. I asked her why, and that's when my wife looked at me with tears in her eyes and asked me if I had some other woman I wasn't telling her about. Another woman? The question hit me like a dagger to the heart, but how could I blame her for being suspicious? Here I was, an otherwise healthy, normal guy who used to always be out for sex, but now it seemed like I had no interest in her. I swore up and down to her that I had never been unfaithful and never would be, which was all true. "So what is it then?" she said. "You don't find me attractive anymore?" No, of course it wasn't that. My wife was still as gorgeous to me as the day I met her. But how could I explain why our sex life had gone dead? How could I make her understand? So I did the only thing I could think of. I told her a lie, and then I made her a promise. "Honey, the truth is, I've been under a ton of stress at my job, working on a new project. I didn't want to bother you with it, but it's going to be okay. The project is almost done, and this weekend is our anniversary. I'm going to make everything up to you, I swear. This is what I told her in the heat of the moment, but I didn't believe a word of it. My confidence was in the toilet. I was scared I might never be able to have sex again, because the truly scary thing about ED is that when it comes to your penis, it's use it or lose it. When you're not getting full mast erections, the muscle fibers and capillaries in your penis are deteriorating from inactivity, and it may only be a matter of time before you can never get hard again. So I knew I had no choice. I'd have to turn to my last resort, the Hail Mary, the nuclear option. I must warn you, this next part is graphic, not to mention horribly humiliating, but if it helps one man avoid my erectile hell, it's worth sharing. On the night of our anniversary, I took Vanessa to a romantic candlelight dinner at the little Italian restaurant by the beach where I'd proposed to her 20 years ago. I'd booked a hotel for us for later on, the same suite where we'd spent our wedding night. At dinner, Vanessa was excited and in a naughty mood. She was wearing that sexy little black dress that used to drive me wild, because she knew I'd promised her fireworks tonight. But I was anxious, sweating bullets. And though I'd promised both of us I wouldn't take pills anymore, I still had a backup solution just in case. In my pocket, I was carrying an injectable erectile stimulant I'd ordered off the internet. It came with a sheet of instructions, and when I saw the warning section, it made me sick to my stomach. It said if I experienced sudden swelling, discoloration, and intense pain, I should report to an emergency room immediately. Reading that gave me nightmares, like the one about the buzzsaw. So there we were, at our dinner table. After a few glasses of red wine, Vanessa started to get frisky. Under the table, she kicked off one of her shoes and rubbed her foot against my crotch, and said to me with her most seductive look, "How about we take our food to go?" She wanted it now. She wanted it bad. I figured the injection would take 30 minutes to kick in, so after I paid the check, I slipped into the men's room, prepared the stimulant, clenched my teeth, and injected the needle directly into my penis. A moment later, as I washed my hands, I felt a painful cramping in my crotch. Jolts of pain shot down my legs. I could feel my penis swelling up like a balloon hooked up to a pump. It was aching and throbbing like it was going to burst. I unzipped my pants, pulled out my junk, and saw that it was grotesquely swollen, turning black and blue. Oh my God. I had to get to a hospital. I ducked out the back door and sent Vanessa a text message. "Sorry, babe, my boss called. Work emergency. Grab a taxi. See you at the hotel." Vanessa responded with a furious text. "Stop lying to me. Tell me who she is." There was no time for any more texting. I needed to get to a hospital before my penis exploded like a piñata. An hour later, the doctor had drained a pint of blood from my dick, which was even more excruciating than what the stimulant did to me. The swelling had gone down, and now my poor little soldier just looked like it had gone 10 rounds with Mike Tyson. I called Vanessa from the hospital and finally told her the humiliating truth about my ED, how I'd tried everything, how I still loved her more than anything, and this problem was killing me. Vanessa came to the ER. I expected her to be furious, but instead she put her hand on mine and said, "Jim, I know you would never cheat on me, and I would never do that to you. We'll find a way to get through this." That night, my feelings of shame and frustration hit a new low. There I was, lying next to my wife in the very same hotel room we once shared as newlyweds when we couldn't get enough sex with each other. And now she was beside me on the eve of our 20th anniversary, and my dick was bruised, shriveled, and useless. I was tossing and turning, thinking, should I tell Vanessa to move on with her life and find another man? A real man who could perform his duties as a husband. You know women have needs, and as a man, you have a duty to fulfill those needs. And if you allow ED to destroy your manhood, you're not giving her any choice. Eventually, she'll have to find what she needs with someone else. I vowed right then and there to keep researching and experimenting until I finally solved my problem once and for all. So I spent night after night on the internet researching alternative therapies, herbs, breathing techniques, meditation, even Pilates, and yoga, until one day I visited an old Asian doctor who I'd heard was a miracle worker. He gave me some powder that was supposed to be a natural virility booster from the mountains of China. He said men over there had been using it for centuries. I wasn't going to tell my wife about any of this yet because I didn't want to get her hopes up, but within minutes of drinking the powder with a glass of water, I began to feel a warm, pleasant tingling sensation down below. I could actually feel the blood flow being transferred from other areas of my body directly into my rapidly stiffening penis. The sensation was incredible. But then it suddenly stopped. I was 3/4 erect when the tingling faded and my erection stopped growing. Still, this was very promising. Maybe there was something in this powder that I could use at a higher dosage to bring it up to maximum strength for men like us. So I brought the powder to a medical laboratory and asked them to analyze it. The next day I got the results of the lab test, and I was amazed to discover that this ancient Chinese ED treatment was full of ingredients that we can find at our local grocery store. And through further research, I realized these ingredients contain dozens of enzymes, amino acids, proteins, and other natural chemicals that have been scientifically proven in study after documented study to relax blood vessels in your body while increasing your blood flow. I already knew this was the key to how erections happened, but in order to maintain a rock-hard erection, your body needs to produce a high level of nitric oxide. This is what allows blood to rush into your penis and get you hard, but your body also needs to produce a chemical that forces the blood to leave your penis at the right time. This chemical has a super long scientific name. The short version is PDE5. And when you can't get or maintain an erection, or you ejaculate too quickly, a big part of the problem is that your body is releasing this chemical all the time, or too soon, or at random times. Basically, your body is forcing the blood away from your penis at the times when you want your penis to be fully stiff. Viagra, Cialis, and all of the injections and herbal knockoffs trick your body into releasing nitric oxide and PDE5, but they don't do it naturally, so our bodies don't know how to regulate it. This is why men who take Viagra often can't even come and wind up with painful, aching boners that last for hours. And it's the same reason I wound up in the emergency room with a dick the size of a balloon. But when I found out that all of the enzymes, amino acids, proteins, and other natural chemicals that we need to achieve, maintain, control, and command our erections can all be found in natural ingredients that you would never suspect, I knew I'd stumbled upon a huge secret that big pharma and doctors do not want us to know. But I had to test it. My wife Vanessa became my accomplice, and soon we were having sex again. I still wasn't able to get 100% rock hard erect, but I was close. And there were other positive signs as well. Now, when I ejaculated, it was thicker and stronger than before. And when I tried upping some of the natural ingredients I was using and lowering some of the others, I was able to close the gap on my refractory period. That's the scientific name for the period of time you need to wait to recharge between your ejaculations. At first, it would take me at least 4 or 5 hours to recharge. But now, after blowing a load, I could get it up again and keep going 30 minutes later. Still, though, I wasn't getting that total rock-hard firmness that I remember having as a younger man. So I kept making adjustments to my method. And Vanessa was more than happy to let me test out my latest ideas. Until one day, I finally cracked the code. I figured out the final piece of the puzzle. One simple adjustment to the method that created the effects of a triple dose of Viagra on steroids. Except the massive, vein-bulging super erection I was staring at in the mirror was 100% all natural. I called Vanessa and told her to meet me back at the house, now. For the next 24 hours, it was like the sexual Olympics in our bedroom. Round after round in every position we could think of, including positions I don't even think had been invented. It was raw animal lust. I'd never seen my wife so horny. She craved me inside of her, begging for more, wanting it deeper, harder, faster. And I delivered, unleashing all of the frustrations and shame I'd felt during the days of my ED shame, proving to myself and to my wife over and over that my manhood wasn't only back, I was a better, stronger man and a more powerful lover than ever before. That was more than a year ago. Since then, I haven't seen any sign of ED coming back. Actually, my erections and stamina only seem to be getting better. I get thick, pulsating, rock-hard erections like I haven't had since I was a teenager. And whenever I I want to unleash the beast and send my wife into outer space, it's as easy as flipping a switch. Vanessa and I are more in love than ever. Our family is happier than ever because I didn't just treat my ED symptoms, I addressed the problem at its core and actually rewound my sexual potency. Now I'm ready to share this secret with you. I call it erection mastery. Everything you need to know to reverse your ED and have the stamina of a champion is inside this digital program, which you can view immediately on your computer, smartphone, or tablet. You can also print it out if you like. Soon, I fully expect you to join the many thousands of men who are thrilled with their results. Men like these.
I just wanted to say thank you to the creators of Erection Mastery. This course has made a huge difference in my sex life, in my confidence, in my overall happiness. It's been a game changer for me and my relationship. I was finally able to chuck the pills and all the other male supplements because now I can get hard on command and stay that way for as long as I need to.
Hi there. I just want to let everyone know that this method really works, and it actually did more than just fix my ED. I now feel younger and stronger and more energetic than I have felt in years. And I have the sex drive of a guy half my age, which is awesome too.
By the way, those were guys who tried the beta version of Erection Mastery. Since then, this easy-to-use digital program has been upgraded and improved with more tips and tricks to get you hard and keep you harder than a baseball bat. This program will hold you by the hand and walk you through the steps so within moments of getting your hands on it, you'll be able to conquer your ED and become a rock-hard stud in the bedroom. Anytime, on command. It's drop-dead simple to use. And to make sure that your success is guaranteed, you can even contact us anytime you want to ask a question about the program or about your own situation. This is really just the tip of the iceberg. Due to time limitations, I can only tell you about 10% of what you'll discover inside the full program, and also includes input from a range of other ED and sexual performance experts. You should also know that although this is a new product, you are no guinea pig. Here are some more testimonials from our wildly satisfied students. Remember, Erection Mastery is also the secret weapon of at least one of the world's greatest porn stars, whose livelihood depends upon him getting it up on command. And that's why I guarantee it'll work for you too. The reason for this is simple. Erection Mastery solves the problem at a core level. It's not a temporary fix or a band-aid, and as long as you apply our easy instructions, your ED problems will be gone for good. No ifs, buts, or maybes. Soon you'll finally be free from the embarrassment, the shame, the frustration, the nagging sense that you're not man enough. Soon you'll be able to stand proud, tall, and confident, knowing nothing can keep your erection down. Soon you'll be able to show her who's boss and give her the intense, mind-blowing sex she's been craving with you all along. Gone will be the days of excuses as to why you aren't feeling it tonight. Gone will be the days of uncertainty about whether or not your wife is truly happy with you, and only you. You'll have peace of mind knowing you're the one man on this earth who can fill her up, rock her world, and fulfill her every carnal desire. Wouldn't that be an amazing feeling, instead of the embarrassment and frustration you're suffering from right now? Because you know you deserve better than this, and so does she. Now, let me ask you, what's going to happen to your relationship if you don't take action to reverse your ED? How many more excuses can you come up with to try to cover up the problem? How much more disappointment do you want your wife to endure because of your inability to rise to the task? How much more time and money do you want to waste on treating symptoms of ED when you could erase the core problem, conquer your ED once and for all, and have the endless stamina of a sexual god? Deep down inside, whether you want to admit it or not, you worry that the woman you love might have to go looking for satisfaction somewhere else, with someone else. And if she does, can you really blame her? When you know you can't fulfill your primary duty as her man and lover? Let's face it, ED isn't a small problem you can ignore and just hope it goes away. It eats away the intimacy you once had with your wife. It eats away at your confidence, your manhood. And if left untreated, it could very well cost you your marriage, your family, and everything you hold dear. That's why when you look at the costs involved in leaving your ED problem untreated, it can be completely devastating, physically, emotionally, and financially. Trust me, I learned the hard way and almost paid the ultimate price. You know my own experience with fighting the ED demon and what I had to go through to make sure you don't suffer that fate, and I know firsthand how just treating the symptoms only prolongs the pain. So let me ask you a serious question. What kind of value would you place on a program that will eradicate your ED, restore your manhood, and make your wife worship you in the bedroom as her own personal sex god? Some men would gladly pay a fortune for that honor. And just think about the time and money you may have already wasted on pills, pumps, or other nonsense. There are gurus out there selling seminar tickets priced at $1,997 or more, claiming to reveal these secrets. But the good news is, I'm not some greedy pharmaceutical executive who only cares about making his next $1 billion. I'm just an average guy like you. I know what you're going through. The only difference is I was lucky enough to stumble upon the all-natural secrets that allowed me to develop this ED solution. So I'm not going to ask you to pay $1,997. It won't even be $997. It won't even be $197. Your only investment today is a refundable deposit of only the price you see on this page right now. I would love to give you this for free, but please understand, I have costs involved in keeping this website online. Please understand, I do need to pay monthly server costs as well as pay our customer support team to be available to help you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But in the event that you're not wildly thrilled with the results you get from Erection Mastery, your one-time refundable deposit is 100% refundable. You can email us and get every penny back at any time over the next 60 days. I recommend that you access the program, swipe the secrets, try it for yourself, and then decide whether you want your minimal refundable deposit back. You've got a full 60 days to do so. As you can see, I've removed all the risk from you and put it on my own shoulders. If you wish to have your deposit returned to you in full, all you need to do is send us an email. You'll see how to contact our friendly customer support team once you enter our members area and get access to the program. But I will say that so far we haven't received many of these requests. Instead, we're getting emails every day from men of all ages who want to thank us, like William A. from Denver, Colorado. He said, "I'm 53 years old and never had an issue with my erections until recently. I have a younger girlfriend who wants sex every day, and I used to be able to keep up until my sex drive started to fade and I was lucky to get a full erection at all. I thought this was a natural part of getting older, but when I found your website, I figured it was worth a try, and I'm so glad I did. Now my erections are stiffer, thicker, and longer, lasting longer than I can remember. And going for more than one round is not a problem. Last night we did it 3 times, and I was up for more, but she was completely worn out. And it's not just men who are raving about erection mastery. We get emails from women, too, like Mary G. from Toronto, Canada. Just wanted to send you a quick note to say thanks for putting the spark back in my marriage. I thought my husband Carl had long lost interest in me romantically because he just didn't seem to be interested in sex anymore. Then a girlfriend of mine told me about your program and how it not only solved her husband's softness problem, but gave him back his sex drive, so I decided to download it myself and show it to Carl. I was nervous about what his reaction would be, but he gave it a shot, and last night we made love for a full hour. Now we can't keep our hands off each other. So just to put you totally at ease and make this a no-brainer, here's our ironclad 100% money-back guarantee. If Erection Mastery doesn't give you stiff, fully engorged erections on command that last as long as you want, and I'm not talking about just any erection, I'm talking about a rock-hard penis of steel like you haven't felt in years, then I insist that you email my 24-hour customer support team at any time over the next 60 days and ask to have your deposit returned in full. You get it back, every penny, no questions asked. Just remember, you have an entire 2 months or a full 60 days to ask for your refundable deposit to be returned. Now, since you've watched this far, I know that you're very interested. You're about ready to take action. So let me sweeten the deal by giving you the following fast action bonuses when you try Erection Mastery today. Fast action bonus number 1 is 21 ways to totally blow her mind in bed every time. Learn these quick tips and you will be the most incredible lover your woman will ever have in her lifetime. Period. No ifs, ands, or buts. Just be warned, we've received reports from students that just one of these many secrets in this bonus guide is enough to make women get sexually and mentally addicted to you, so that whenever you're not aroused, she'll fantasize about having your rock-hard dick sliding in and out of her, giving her pleasure the way no other man ever could or ever will. She'll desire and crave you inside of her, morning, noon, and night. And thanks to Erection Mastery, you will always be hard and ready. Next, because you've watched this far, I'm going to give you Fast Action Bonus number 2. Be a marathon man tonight. Getting rock hard on command is what makes you a man, but staying hard long enough to rock her world is what makes you a stud. In this exclusive bonus, you'll learn never-before-revealed tips and tricks for mastering your ejaculations, so that you never blow it too soon and always leave her utterly satisfied and in awe of your astonishing sexual power. And that's not all. You'll also get Fast Action Bonus number 3. Porn Superstar Secrets. For this bonus, which is only for those who try out Erection Mastery today, I got adult film superstar Michael Stefano to reveal his personal sex secrets for getting it up and keeping it up with the hottest and sexiest adult film actresses in the world. During his decades in the industry, Mike was the go-to guy for the top directors because of his astonishing ability to get hard on command and go for hours if needed, sometimes with 2 or 3 girls at a time. Now, for the first time, the hardest working man in the adult film industry pulls back the curtain and reveals the actual techniques that he uses to deliver mind-blowing performances every time. Hint: he hates all erection drugs and refuses to use them. He's a huge fan of Erection Mastery, and in this bonus, he shares his own tips on how to be a boss in the bedroom. So let me remind you of the free extra bonuses you're going to instantly receive when you try out Erection Mastery today. 21 ways to totally blow her mind in bed every time. Be a marathon man tonight. And Porn Superstar Secrets. That's over $400 worth of extra value you're getting when you give Erection Mastery a try today. Totally risk-free. And remember, in the event you decide to ask for your deposit to be returned, you'll still get the Keep Erection Mastery along with all the bonuses. That's the least I can do to thank you for watching this presentation and giving this program a try. On the next page, you will submit your one-time refundable deposit through our secure checkout page. Your payment details and personal information will be kept completely confidential because this checkout page is encrypted with the latest 256-bit encryption technology. And to further protect your privacy, nothing about Erection Mastery will appear on your credit card or bank statement. The only thing that will show up will be a charge from ClickBank, which is the secure payment processor that we use. They process over 100,000 transactions daily. But you do need to act now. I do not know how long this special offer will be available at its current affordable price. This means that if you do exit this page, you might be saying goodbye forever to the only true and natural thing that will reverse your ED problem for good. Tell me, can you honestly say that you've tried everything within your power to fix your ED so that your wife feels 100% satisfied and secure with you? Can you honestly say that your wife will never be tempted to leave you for another man when you know deep down that she isn't getting her sexual needs and desires fulfilled? And are you really okay with going through life feeling like less than a man? Not feeling confident in your manhood, all because you suffer some common curable problem that you have the power to fix right now? We both know the answer to these questions. So now it's time for you to click the order button below. Complete your checkout on the next page and get immediate access to the Erection Mastery program, plus all of the fast action bonuses. I look forward to you being our next success story. A few days from now, feel free to send me an email and tell me about it. Who knows, you too might be the next person that has had his marriage saved. That's the power of Erection Mastery. It literally saves marriages and changes lives. And if you simply give it a shot, I'm sure it will also transform your life for the better just moments from now. So what are you waiting for? Click the order button below and complete the checkout process. It only takes 30 seconds to fill out the form on the next page, and within 60 seconds, you'll have the complete Erection Mastery program right in front of you. Right now, you've basically got 3 options. Option 1, you can close this page and continue to live your life as usual and get the usual results with your sex life. More disappointment, embarrassment, and frustration. And your problem will only get worse. Because when it comes to the health of your penis, it's either use it or lose it. If you have ED, you're already losing it. The muscle fibers and capillaries in your penis are deteriorating from inactivity. Do you really want to keep delaying until your penis has no hope of ever getting hard again? Then there's option 2. You can use the knowledge you've gained from this presentation to wing it and try to figure this out on your own. But let's face it, unless you know the exact secrets that I'm going to show you in Erection Mastery, no amount of trial and error is going to fix the real underlying issue behind your ED. And why would you even want to experiment and possibly make your problem even worse when Erection Mastery removes all of the guesswork and hands you the solution? And then you have option 3. You can try out Erection Mastery today and fix this problem once and for all by taking advantage of this incredibly generous limited time offer. You'll get the complete Erection Mastery program, plus the complete bonus package, all for a one-time refundable deposit for the amount you see below. Click the order button below and fill in your details on the next page to get started. Because if you've watched this far, you must be convinced of 2 things. 1, you cannot afford to wait another day to handle your ED and fix it once and for all. Remember, it's use it or lose it. And why would you want to wait when the answer is waiting for you on the next page and it's simple, safe, and all natural? 2, because this offer is completely risk-free, it wouldn't make sense to pass up this opportunity or tell yourself, well, maybe later. The next time you try to visit this website, the price for Erection Mastery might be double what you see right now, or even triple. Now's the time to reclaim your manhood. Click on the button below, and then simply fill out the short form on the next page. It'll take 30 seconds, tops. Don't forget, our checkout page is 100% safe and secure, and all your details will be kept totally confidential. Nothing about Erection Mastery will appear on your credit card or bank statement. The only thing that will show up will be a charge from ClickBank, which is our trusted and 100% secure payment processor. Once you complete your checkout, the complete Erection Mastery program plus all of the bonuses will be available to you within less than 60 seconds. Click on the button below and take action right now. Don't wait any longer. You've been held back for too long by the lies and deceptions spread by the pharmaceutical industry. Now is the time to take charge and reclaim your happiness and your masculinity. Now is the time to reverse your ED so that the only people who lose out are the fat cat executives who have one less person to prey upon. Now is the time to prove to your wife and woman that you are the only man on this earth who can satisfy her deeply and fully. So don't delay any further. Click the button below and let's get started.